Hello everyone, my name is Kenneth, and today I will be doing another book review on financial fitness for teens. So I think we left off. Hold on. Oh yeah, we left off before step one, like a few pages before step one, and I think we might get into step one and maybe touch on step two. So first off, the author says that having the right information and more important, the right thinking will make like all the difference how you approach like later things in life or like yeah later things in life and like the results you'll get. I think I that was like one of the last things I said on the last video. So it's kind of true. Like you have to have the right mindset when you're doing things because like you can do something if you don't have like the right way of thinking. Like the result will be different. Like you can play basketball if you don't have like the right way of thinking how to play basketball or like the mindset of it. You won't do that well in doing basketball. So basically, as you learn like the right information, you want to like adopt like the right mindset. You want to be positive, not negative, because like positive help you keep going forward, and like you can apply like your good mindset into like your approach on getting success and your results. So basically, he says that you should start now. It's best to start as a kid. I think I said that last time too, but it's like it's probably not you're not going to get financial like success right away. That's why you should start right now, so you have more time to like improve yourself and like fail, but then you make up for that and all that stuff. So basically, he says that learning and applying like principles of financial fitness that you're like taught going to be taught in this book will enable you to take yourself like from financially broke to like financial free. That's what he says. So once you're there, you also want to be like you want to be like from financial broke to financial free. You want to be independent. You don't want to be like dependent on like a job, living to paycheck, and you want to have like a truly abundant life. You don't want to be like a really bad life. So he says that whether you are like a child or like a teen, or like even an adult, maybe in your 40s, still reading a kid's teens book, like reading this will have like give you like the right information. If you handle information right, like and apply it, you'll do pretty well. It's like all those for teens is for adults. It has the same information, except for they make it more like in a way for teens to read it better. Mm-hmm. So so now we're going to be on step one called understanding money. Focus on the basic. So he has a quote from this J.G. Ballard. I don't know. So he says that civilized life, is based on a huge number of illusions in which we all collaborate willingly. The trouble is we forget after a while that they are illusions, and we are deeply shocked when reality is torn down around us. Like, you know how you dream about it? Wow, I want to be rich. Like, but then like you're living in this paradise, but then all of a sudden like you snap back to reality and like you realize that like your life isn't that like fantasy, I guess. And so like you don't want to keep dreaming about it and like not do anything. You haven't had that perfect dream that like you were doing everything you always wanted like while you're sleeping, and then you woke up and you're kind of disappointed that none of that actually happened. So you don't want that to happen in real life. You actually want to like take action and like make those dreams come true. So he says that before you can get really into like the small and important details and techniques of financial fitness, he says that it's crucial to start like understanding what money is and like have like the correct view on how to make it and like yeah. So he says that it's important to see the whole picture to understand money itself, and before you strategize and plan how to before wait yeah you need to learn how you need to understand money before you can start making it and using it. So he says that when you don't understand the basic rules or like nature of money, you can get into like a lot of mistakes, and because it's basically because you don't know what you're doing. Do you know how you ever felt like you have a lot of money all of a sudden and then you felt like wanting to spend it? Like, oh, I got a raise. And then you're like, oh, let's go get some, like, let's go to a vacation because I got a raise. So you're not really understanding what money, just because you're like making more money doesn't mean you can spend more money. Um, he says that when you really understand money, knowing the techniques and strategies that work best will only add to your financial savvy and increase your ability to make money work in the best ways for you and your purpose. He says that like the seeing the trees and the ocean. Wait, seeing the forest, the trees, and the ocean. So that was the next thing that we're going to be talking. It's like the sub thingy. So he says that unfortunately, in the words of best-selling author, this guy named Chris Brady. I think that's the author of this book. Oh, Forward by New York. Yeah, whatever. So he says that most people are terrible at money. That's why not a lot of people are rich. People like to spend money because it makes them feels good. At first it feels good, but then when you really think about it after you buy the stuff, you kind of like, oh, I kind of regret it. And so he says that likewise, like the role models were also like terrible at money, except for like they learn how to understand it and like eventually reach independence and financial freedom. So he says that fortunately you don't have to follow the footsteps of a tradition where you get a job, a high paying job, and then after like 30 years, at 60 years old, you're rich now.
You're not rich. 60 years
Oh,
old.
you're barely like
Your salary
you're
will
okay.
decrease. Your pay decrease because you're getting older and they don't want to hire you anymore.
Yeah, you're okay.
So you have to
So he says
negotiate.
that you need to believe, as many do, that seeking to achieve a high financial education or even a better financial situation is unrealistic, materialistic, and possibly even greedy. So, like many people think like just because you want money, it's greedy, like you're selfish, you're one of the snobby rich people, which like it's not like really true. You just want to make yourself happier. You don't want to be in debt. It's just making yourself like live better. You don't want like why would you torture yourself? Like they're calling you greedy for just getting out of torture. So he says that in fact, this path, deliberately avoiding reality and consciously choosing not to better your financial environment and situation, is exactly what leads to most materialism and money-driven action. Like the people who say that, they're the one who spends the most money like unnecessarily, and yeah. So basically, he says that this guy named Oscar Wilde. He said this quote like there is only one class of the community that thinks more about money in the rich, and that is the poor. It's kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
So they think about money. They either are willing to like really want to make money, or they're complaining about it because they have like financial troubles because they're not like high up like me.
Don't say pretty negative about it.
Only income, birthdays enough. I feel rich after my birthday. I just stash it away, and then I don't use it anymore. Unless someone like, if I absolutely have to. But other than that, I don't need to spend my money because I'm freeloading on my. I mean, they're gifting me stuff. Anyways, so he says that sadly for many who don't have a realistic view about financial fitness, life frequently becomes like all about money, and as long as they never have it, they continue to chase it. Like people don't understand it. They always like the whole life like you do something. Oh, bills come up, or you want to like pay off your bills. You're not making enough money to pay it off, and like you're just getting clashed and like attacked by money problems every time. And since they do not have it, they're always like they have like this will to like get it. Like it's a good thing to have like the will to get it, but the thing is like people think they have the will. They want more money, but except for their will's not strong enough because they're either too lazy or too scared to actually get it. Like very few people can
Mm-hmm. You have to be disciplined.
understand.
Mm-hmm.
So he says that instead of providing examples of question seeking answers and learning what money is and how to be good at managing it, some parents, like my parents, probably your parents, teachers, and some other role models, instead like leave the children and youth to assume the world is just like tough like that. He says that the reality, according to them, seems to be others can make it financially because they're lucky, but in our family, that's the rut we get. Like, you know how people get rich and they're like, dang, so lucky.
Mhm.
Well, it's not really lucky. They have to work for it, and then once they
Also,
actually
the
get
luck too.
there,
They
then
have both.
people like work for them.
They have to have both luck and work hard.
Yeah, people say like those rich guys don't work hard. It may seem like that because they're already there. Like they don't need to work hard anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes them like they have to go through all that trouble and
Mm-hmm.
then they finally make it. And then they can finally relax. Yeah, like a lot of rich people they're kind of bad where they have like they pay them so less and somehow like find loopholes to like make it legal for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some rich people who actually are like the good ones. So basically she says that the reality according to them seems to be like they whoever made it financially free they're lucky, and so that like he also said that so make the most of it and enjoy the hard work, debt, and eternal financial stress because like well I need to read this. I forgot what I'll say. Okay, hold on, let me read it again. So he says that others can make it financially because they're lucky, but in our family, community, class, etc., it's like the road we get. So make the most of it and enjoy the hard work, debt, and eternal financial stress. He says that tragically, since no one and nothing like including their own experience like ever tells or like demonstrate like to these like young kids like me, otherwise this is what they end up believing. Like they should like savor the memories and the life because that's all they're getting right now. Um, so he says that just as a quick reminder, in case you're getting like caught in like cynicism, it says right there, and hopelessness of a financial like viewpoint, and education approach. Like if you in case you're getting up there like fundamentally wrong stuff and like you're getting brainwashed and all that weird stuff, um, this is like a bad way of like any bad way of viewing money. So basically, if you get stuck in those, like it's not really a good way to decide how you're going to view your money. So, for example, during like a special career week at school, I think some of us had it. I didn't have it because like I don't know why, but I think my brother did, where they chose like all the careers they want to be and all that. And so basically, during this, was sponsoring like a young school teacher was assigned to hold a discussion in class on how to choose a career path because that's what made everyone to like get like go to school, go to college, get a high paying job, work till you retire, done. Teach your kids, get a job in college, and keeps going on and on. So the teacher prepared diligently and arrived at school like wanted to teach the students on like the very important topic of their future. And so she began by explaining that like really the only option was to graduate from college with good grades and pursue a stable job. That's what everyone is to think to believe. Yeah, that's a good. You should get good grades and go to college, but it really depends on where you're trying to chase. Like you don't really need to go to Harvard for something that they're not specializing in. Like if you're not like Harvard's pretty good at like biology, right? But if you're not going there for biology, you're going to something that they're not really good in. There's no point in going to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to like some other college, like MIT. um, so she began explaining that the like those are the only options, or like one of the most crucial options or the best options they have. So one particularly like some student said raised his hand and listed 4 or 5 successful entrepreneurs, artists, business owners who had actually made a lot more money than the average employee like hopes for. Right now, I think the average employee works like 50K a year. Because California's a little more, but in other states, that's what they're probably getting. These people are probably making like 200,000 or up, maybe millions a year. California, I think 200,000 is like okay because everything's expensive here. I think 200,000 in California is like 90K in like another state in Texas or something. So then he asked that about the lessons these examples about like how they made their riches and all that. To his amazement, her unflinching response was to say that the lesson was very clear. He said they could do that, and how lucky for them. But the rest of us need to pursue good degrees and stable jobs because she has that mindset that cause she's teaching them and they're lucky that they get all these resources and all that. Well, they're not. Some of them are, but most of them aren't. A lot of them start with nothing. They just had to work for it. They were really persistent. And she said that the rest of us need to pursue a good degrees and stable job. Like we should, like we can if we want to, but it's not really like the best thing because you'll just end up working at an unhappy job, and then like just work until we die, and then we can't get that Ferrari that we dream of. So sad. Um, so the boy realized he's like a pretty smart guy. He realized that the kind of success and results achieved by people on his list did not just do what a regular person did. They came with a massive amount of hard work, and clearly the teacher was saying that it would be less risky to seek a job than go above and beyond. And yeah, you know how they always say go above and beyond, but here now they're not even promoting that. They just say go above and beyond so you can do everyone else and go to college and work. There's really no point going above and beyond when you're just going to get stuck in a job that you're not happy like everyone else who didn't go above and beyond.
You don't. Yeah.
So basically, you're saying the teacher was just find a job that's like not too stressful, find what you like to do, and he was shocked to hear say that the actual lesson we learned from successes of others is that they can do it, but we can't. It's like that doesn't make sense. Like then what's the point of role models? Like the role model is the main point is to like encourage you, do what like help you like reach success, like
believe in yourself.
Yeah, like what's the point of having a role model that you're not even gonna follow or they're not helping you at all? Like you can like it's not really a role model if you're not trying to model after them. No, I'm just kidding. But like I don't. That's not like the definition of role model. But there's like no point if they're like cool. Yeah, you can like them, but they're not really like a role model to you. You're not trying to become like them. So he decided he just thought to himself that she was wrong. Like she was just speaking it wrong or saying it wrong because like so he can talk about to other kids, and he thought that she knew more about like this topic, so he pushed her a little bit further. It's kind of daring. Not a lot of people would push like a teacher, keep asking persistent questions because you're afraid to get them mad because they're the boss of the classroom. So his parents had built like a successful entrepreneur business that allowed him to eventually leave the jobs and earn great success. It's kind of lit though. So he knew from their example that the teacher was saying was really wrong. Yeah, he's more into a good family. He's pretty good. He's at least the parents are actually teaching him, not giving him all the money to him so he can spend whatever he wants. So he says that to the teacher, you mean the principle we learned from the lives of Benjamin Franklin, Will Smith, Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Andrew Carnegie, Ralph Lauren, and like a bunch of other, and that's impossible to come like from those circumstances and achieve great financial success. Like many of these rich people came from the bottom. Only like some of them came from like a middle class or a little bit upward, but like many of them didn't. So basically, the teacher was like kind of laughing, like half laughing at like the question. So he tried to make himself clear as possible, so make sure like she won't contradict him and explain what she like really meant, or yeah. So the teacher looked at him for like a moment and gave him like a sympathetic smile, and she said she repeated that her assurance is that it was good for them, it's good for that they did it, but it was taught that the rest of us have to like work at a typical job and hope to make ends meet until we retire. Like why? Why? It's not fun anymore once you're old. Like by the time you're old, like you retire,
you have all the money. What's the
you
point?
have some money, but not a lot of money, and you can't have fun anymore. Yeah, you can pass it down to your generation, but it's still not going to do them that much. So basically, when the kid protested sharing his dream to work hard, become a millionaire one day, she laughed at him outright and finally concluded that, like conclude the class and say, "Well, good luck at that." That's kind of a rude teacher. Well, like that's not nice. She should be encouraging him. Like even if it's like an outrageous thing, you can still encourage. Like you know how little kids say, "I want to be an astronaut one day." Like those teachers, like yes, you can. Like this teacher is like the opposite of that. So basically, he told the teacher that his parents did it, and so did many of their friends. So she was surprised, but did not have an answer because she doesn't fully understand. And so while some teachers do understand and pass on like these financial fitness things to their students, many don't. Usually, only the very good teachers do. Um, it's kind of like unfortunate, as like many more teachers should be doing this. Um, he said that for most people, however, the topic of money isn't just directly at all, which means it is like unconsciously or like accidentally learned. You know how like go to adulthood, like you like accidentally learn about like how to manage your money. Like no one actually taught you that. You just learned on your own. Yeah, I think a lot of people like did that in college or like somewhere else. Um, is because once they like get into the real world, they realize that they're in reality now, and that they can't spend or have their parents buy whatever they want. So basically, in other words, like whatever young people's financial fitness or like financial surroundings teach them, they tend to believe that or believe for themselves, combined with it's not like a little bit of blind hope, and everything will work out the best way possible. Like, which is probably won't happen unless they actually learn something and apply like what they learned. Like I can hope I always hope to get a yacht one day, even though I don't know like what you need to get a yacht, like a Bugatti. But if I just dream about it and not do anything, then I can't get it. Maybe in like if I sleeping and I somehow get a perfect dream where I can like get everything I wanted. What other than that, that's which is really rare. I probably won't get like anything I want if I just sit here talking like just doing nothing. So he says that with this approach, if you grew up in a forest, you think the whole world is a forest because all trees, like that's all you see. I've been camping a lot, all trees. And if you grew up in the city, you'd think the world is just a giant city. I haven't really grown up in like the big city. I just regular suburban where all the regular neighborhood is and all that. So if you grew up in the mountains, you think the mountain is the whole world because you don't really like see the other world. You don't know about the rest of the world until you actually experience it. So that I guess that's like how we feel before we age into like real world, like adulthood. Like I think before I actually learned about any of this stuff, I thought it was just easy, done. Just have money in your wallet, don't spend, you're good. So I mean, it's kind of helpful, but I just think that like at that time when I was younger, I think my mom were just we were successful already, and that if I follow like what they did, like the jobs that they had like a while ago, I can also be like them and be happy, and I can pass down my knowledge to the other kid, like my kids. But it turns out like this like the world is like bigger than that. I don't have to follow my parents of like their regular jobs they had. I can just try something else. I think many people like break the chain of the family. You know how sometimes they have like the hair salon family tradition all the way down, and then this guy decided to be a doctor. Like you don't have to become. Although like some people like their parents pressure them to do it. I'm not getting pressured, but like other people don't. Like once you're 18, you don't like you're good. um, unless they threaten you with like disowning you, but it doesn't matter anymore. Like they're disbelievers. Like don't listen to them because like if they don't support you, and if you follow them, you won't be happy. You don't. There's no point anymore. So he says that the world, like what the world is made of, or that's like the next topic. So of course you're smart enough to know that the world is made up of different environments, like like urban, suburban, all that weird stuff. There's just land like living, but there's more like if you think of other like mountain and, all, and like oceans and all that. So it's kind of like that, but like a different aspect in like money, real world ish stuff. So money also has like various components and things to understand. So we need to look at a much larger picture than our own like circumstance. So the whole world is not a forest, like like not the whole. Well, it used to be a forest, but not anymore. Um, so therefore, viewing it such like as just one force is like bad, kind of like a failure. Or if you think that you're gonna fail pretty badly and you don't know what's wrong. So no matter how long you have to walk before you like see the end of the trees, like this is his like metaphor, I think. So the end is there. So there are not just there's like cities, oceans, mountains, and plains out there, and the world is just not like just a forest end of story. Oh, that's what he says. So I guess it's like hype. I forgot what it was called. Like not a metaphor, but I forgot. I don't know. So he says that no matter how long you have to walk before you see the trees, the end is there. Means that like you should like keep persisting through, even though you're getting hard. Like it's hard for you. Like in school, like you should keep trying your best, and eventually you reach the end. Like I'm already a sophomore or becoming a sophomore. Like thing, that's fast. Actually, high school goes by way faster than middle school and the rest. I always feels like that. I don't know if it's just virtual.
Yeah, virtual.
Because it's only like 4 different years, so I'm already done with one. Now we have 3 left, and the next thing I know, I'm gonna be done with 2. And the next thing I'm gonna go in college, and then I'm on my own at that point. Rip. So basically, like no matter how far, like how like hard you should keep persisting, and eventually you reach success. Um, yeah. So he says that, and since it doesn't work just go with what you see in front of you, and assume that like you understand the world, like the guy who couldn't see like the forest or trees. So you should like some additional digging education on the big picture is needed to like learn about money. You can't just keep going through your life without like learning like the big. You know it's there, but you're not really understanding or what it is. Like if you're putting back the forest, this guy knows something is beyond the forest, but he doesn't know what's beyond the forest. If you like think of it like that. Um, so basically, if people don't understand like the true financial principles, it's easy. Like it's amazing. Like what like absurdities they'll like adopt fast. They might have these weird beliefs, superstition. Um, I really think that there's some superstition out there. If you like drop your money, you can't like, or it's like, oh wait, I forgot. It's like I bet like some tradition out there have like some weird tradition where if you do something you get bad luck. Um, or like if you do this certain thing you'll get a lot of money. I think like a lot of like cultures out there they have the superstition thing. Um, I wonder if they actually made that for themselves so that they can feel better. Like like a bird poop fell on you and they say it's good luck. Like imagine if that actually fell on you, people made fun of him. But then he said it was good luck and everyone to stop making fun of him and everyone believed it. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I got bird poop. I'm not really not sure.
Now you
But
want to perfume.
I do not like it's actually bad luck. Like how's that good luck? Like you're dirty now. It's not good anymore. So people will get these weird things. And unfortunately, this like the truth of this statement, it's easy to see. Like most people in their perspective of money, they'll do whatever weird tactics to get their money. It's like really weird. Like some of my family members did it one time, like a while ago. It's kind of weird, but like he somehow managed to get money, but it's not like the best way. So all you have to do is like look around everywhere who believe all sorts of absurdities are passing them to onto others, making some of their most important life decisions like this weird, full of like ridiculous financial fallacies. So I guess like a lot of families do that. I think like way like before me and my mom, I guess they kind of like come with a superstition. You can't do this because it'll make you like it makes you like poor or something like that. Did that happen? I'm not sure.
They say if you eat with the light off, you're poor.
What?
That's a Chinese superstition.
Oh, because you can't afford electricity.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ew. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah. I think they just do that just to make fun of you. But anyways, so a broader and deeper understanding of like the real picture of like what money is and like what it isn't is like sorely needed in our world and like fast. A lot of people, I hope like my generation are actually getting a better grasp of money. I think my area, they kind of like know what money, like how to manage money, but many like in other states, other cities, they probably don't, which is bad. Um, so basically, he says that as you come to understand money and treat it in like the right ways, you'll be making a big difference in your own future, and while also preparing yourself to like pass on like to your later generations, your friends, all of that. So the next topic is to understand your role. When it comes to having like the right thinking about money, one of the things you should understand is like about money is a stewardship thing. So the word stewardship is like both interesting and vital because it includes two very important ideas into one. He says that the first idea incorporated in stewardship is that money is a blessing. Like you're blessed that you have money at all. You should be grateful that you have money, and although you don't have a lot, like you should still be grateful that you have some. So basically, it's a huge benefit when it comes whether you're from your parents or you're from your own hard work. Either way, you should be grateful for it. And money is abundant and valuable, and ultimately comes to you as a blessing from God if you believe in God, as like your hard working, like when you did your part. Um, he says that as a steward, you are blessed with money, which can be a tremendous benefit and resource. It is like potential energy that gives you like the incredible leverage and opportunity that allows you to accomplish things later on, and like it would, like your life would be so much harder without it. Like before, I got money from New Year's and my birthdays. I had to rely on my parents. I I now have my own money. I don't have to rely on as much, but it's still greatly appreciated if they bought me stuff still, but as they do. So at least I know that I'm not like freeloading. At least I have some financial backup just in case something went wrong. Um. Also, I think one time like I spent a little bit too much and then I ran out, but good thing I got restocked later on, and then I'm good now. Um. So I think it was mainly my brother's fault. Like he kept wanting to get boba, and I was like, I was just sitting there, and then like after class he would want to go get boba, and then he forces me to pay for it, and I had to spend like so much money for him. Like he probably spent like $10. I probably spent like $15 because it's uneven. I had to start first and then him and then me and then him and then me again. So it's kind of unfair. So that's like not a good way to spend your money.
Yeah, you shouldn't buy boba every night.
Yeah, good thing we stopped that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so basically, the blessing part of the stewardship is really important and honestly, like pretty cool. Likely, like you know the word steward from the Lord of the Rings, like some other movies and all that. So here's an example of Lord of the Rings. Since the rule of Gondor before the Aragorn's like returns is called the steward. So in this case, we tend to think of like a merely another name for like they gave the ruler instead of a king, like a prime minister or like something else or a president. Um, so basically, but like this idea of who is a steward is like, and what he gives us is like a great picture of like of what a blessing part of like of the like the biggest picture of like a blessing in our world. Um, so he says that but clearly the steward of Gondor, it was best by the situation. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in a while, so I've probably forgotten how to pronounce everything. It was too long. I don't want to watch it again. So interesting, like this guy named Denethor. I forgot who he was, anyways. I probably didn't pay attention. So himself does a great job of introducing another important aspect of stewardship by showing us what not to do. Like if something goes wrong, at least you're learning something. What not to do something. That's how you make a negative into a positive. So earlier, like how I spent a lot of money on boba because of my brother. I hopefully learned that you're not supposed to do that. And yeah. So you see, like While like the position of steward was traditionally like one of that like involved much blessing, power, and opportunity, with like nevertheless like the position of like higher ranking thing or position of like a higher ranking servant. So he says that the second idea included the concept of stewardship is that money is a responsibility. Money is both a blessing and a responsibility. Once you get the blessing, it's your responsibility to take care of it. You have the bigger responsibility on that stuff. So he basically, back to the Lord of the Rings, he said that the a steward is not just a fancy coded ruler like the king. You have the fur coat and everything. He is a servant to a higher master, like a king. He's a high ranking dude, but he's a servant. So basically, he's charged with caring like for and seeing the Lord's houses, lands, people, etc. in his absence. So that's what money is a steward. Hopefully, you didn't think that you were the steward because you don't want to be a servant. I mean, I would actually wanted to be a steward if I was rich. Like, if I was, I think a lot of people, if they're poor, they would actually want to become like the Lord's their Lord like servant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the peasant one, but like their advisor. I think in China they actually cut off their balls. Yeah, they actually did that. But some people actually sacrifice their family members so they can be rich and their family could be rich, but they have no balls anymore.
They kind of spend time with the family. We just send home the family money.
Yeah. So basically, therefore, like the second idea included like the concept of stewardship is a responsibility, and stewards are not simply heirs who inherit wealth and get to waste it in like whatever they choose. I think a lot of rich people, like rich families, which they sadly did, they're rich. Like that's cool. But then they gave it to the 12-year-old son where he got like just an iPhone. He gets to flex Gucci and all that. So I think I had someone at the school. I think he left our school like 2 years ago. But he was like that. He was really spoiled. No one really liked him. He's kind of flexing all this stuff. It was kind of sad that he was like that because he's like rich. And I said like why people hate rich people. So basically, you don't want to get your money passed down to your kids, and you don't want to spoil them. You want to like teach them the ways of the money. So Jews are not like simply like heirs to inherit wealth. So basically, they are along with enjoying blessings of money. Jews are primarily like responsible for using that money in specific ways to fulfill a certain purpose, as given in their master. So it's basically in short, he says that as a steward of money, you have to understand that you are truly blessed to have it. Oh wait, I got mixed up earlier. I said money is steward, but you are the steward to the money. So basically, money comes with responsibility. So that's why you should use it wisely and responsibly and rightly. And you don't want to spend it all because if you spend it all, you're screwed. Good thing I didn't do that.
Emergency, then you don't have any money.
Yeah, you have no money. You can't even buy a cup of boba anymore. So, but at the same time, remember that how you use it matters, and that wasting is not a good plan. You don't want to waste your money. I think spending money and wasting money is two different things. Spending money is like using it for a good thing or like a need. Wasting money is like just unnecessary like, spending, like this. I don't know why we got this. Oh, I know why. It was my mom's birthday, and then we said we get it for her, which we did. But then she didn't use it, so we took it back.
I used it. You guys took it from me, so I couldn't use it.
Well, it feels warm around my arms. I got an armband now. But, so money comes with a responsibility to use it wisely and rightly. You don't want to, like, do bad things with it. So as a steward of, like, Gondor, back to, like, the Lord of the Rings stuff, Denethor, I think that's how I pronounce it, had the ability and authority to order his son and all his soldiers to do bad things and hurt many people, even though he had the responsibility not to. You can use money to hurt people. Like, if you're really rich, you can blackmail people, I guess. You can hurt yourself by spending all the money, get into debt, and hurt your company if you do have a company at that point. So basically, he says that don't be kind. like don't be that kind of steward that like that is a bad person. Like this is like your decision to make. You can do either one, but just one decision is better than the other decision. Of course, you want to choose the best decision. So basically, mentoring matters. As you're probably aware by now, it is crucial that you don't decide like what kind of steward you will be based on like the habits you've seen, or like the unconscious training you receive from like everyone around you. It's just that listen to those who are like good at handling money, like Bill Gates. I don't know what happened to Bill Gates. He's having his own thing, but you want to listen to people who actually have the money first. You don't want to get advice from people who are being hypocritical, saying you should save money and all this shit. You should do this. You know, he doesn't do it himself. He's doing the opposite of that. You want to be taught by like would you rather get taught by some person off the street, or would you be taught by a teacher, like a professional teacher? Of course, you want to be taught by a professional teacher. You want to be taught by the best, too, because you'll get like the best training. So this is a very important. So learning from these people who really know what they're doing and will help you and who want to help you learn is like one of the most important things. So in case of money, learn from those who are financially fit themselves. Like find good financial mentors who are excellent stewards of their own money. You don't want you don't want to be someone who's like not even there yet. How can they help you when they can't even help themselves? So basically, a mentor is a trusted advisor or a teacher who's there to help you along your journey. I think you've seen multiple mentors like through movies and like other stories and all that. You know how the mentor helps their apprentice and all that. So it's someone who's like ahead of you on the journey, who are already there. Like you're down here, you're white belt. They're already black belt, 6th degree. like martial arts. Like your mentor is like the grandmaster dude with the master, and you're like that white belt guy who doesn't know anything at first. Yeah. So basically, you want to learn from someone who's like better than you, of course. So basically, the idea is that since this person who has already like been there or have faced like the same challenges, they know what you're going to go through, so they can help you guide. They're going to guide you through those, so that you don't make the same mistakes they did, and so that you can go smoothly. So basically, mentoring is a huge thing. Most successful people had a mentor. Yeah, like it's going to be very difficult without one. You at least have to have some role model, like Bill Gates or something. You somehow have a model after them. So how much time do you have left?
Wrap it up when we can.
Okay, so I guess I'll wrap it up here. So basically, mentoring is like a very huge part. About it. Like understanding money is like one of the most important steps. Is like the first step you make. If you don't even understand what money is or like what it means, then you can't even make yourself. Once you make yourself money, you're probably gonna spend it all. You don't know how to make even more money, and yeah. So that's why you should get like a mentor. You should learn from someone like me. I'm not saying I'm better than you, but so basically you want to learn from a mentor. You want to understand like your responsibility with money. You don't want to be with those people who like live paycheck to paycheck until they die, and yeah. So it's good to start young. Hopefully you're still young. If you're not, it doesn't really matter. You can start anyways right now, like a lot of people are. Even if you start at 40 years old, you can make it by 45 or the next year, depending on how willing you commit, like how committed you are. So that's all for this time, and I hope you enjoyed this video of financial fitness for teens. 6 steps from broke to abundant. I'm like broke right now. So hopefully I be abundant after this. Okay, bye.